When I first laid eyes on the Redmi 7A, I was really interested. Not because of the specs on this thing, but because of the price. How on earth do Redmi make a modern smartphone for this much money, and what exactly do we get? Well, today we're gonna have a look. First things first, you actually do get fast charging with this phone. You get a 10-watt fast charger in the box. Now it is micro USB, not USB-C. And I've got to say, this phone feels really well put together. You get a Snapdragon in this phone too, a Snapdragon 439. That's on a 12nm chip. Oh, and wait for this, a 4000 milliamp hour battery. On the side here, you have a power button and a volume rocker. And on the other side, you just get that SIM card tray. On the bottom there, you have that mono speaker. The other grill is just for show, and that micro USB port. On the top, of course, you get a headphone jack. And useful for a lot of people, you can put dual SIM cards in this one and a micro SD card up to 256 gigabytes. That's really not bad for a phone of this price. Whilst the specs aren't going to blow you away, the way that the entire phone feels and comes as a package is actually really impressive. It keeps a lot of the Xiaomi design aesthetic, even from flagship phones such as the K20 Pro. Another positive is that you get MIUI 10 on this. Now, this is the same as you get on any other Redmi phone, including much more expensive ones. Now, of course, the power and the RAM management isn't going to match up to those more expensive Redmi phones, but day to day, your usage of this phone is going to be very similar to what you get in those more expensive phones. If you've never used MIUI before, it's very simple and effective. What surprised me is that this is literally exactly the same MIUI as you get on the rest of the Redmi and Xiaomi lineup. There are no swipe gestures like you get on the more expensive phones though. Camera features are also slightly reduced compared to those more expensive phones. Video, photo, and short video modes. You also get a pro mode. A good feature about this phone is you do get a time-lapse mode, and you can change video quality from 1080p down to 720p. If you go into photo settings, there are definitely less options than you get on the flagships from Redmi, but there's enough to keep you interested for sure. You can change the picture quality from low, standard, or high, but I'm not really sure what exactly that means. Anyway, I suggest you just keep it on high, but here are some images from the phone. It needs good light and sometimes overexposes those bright areas, as you can see here. But remember, this phone is $80 and you can actually take some really good looking images with it. Here's the classic Tech ZG Marmite shot. The front camera is 5 megapixels, the back camera is 13 megapixels, and you can do 1080p HD video recording on both of those. Just have a look at the colors and listen to the sound, because I'm using the phone to record right now. Video stabilization on both of the front and back cameras is a little bit dodgy, but actually, even with this high dynamic range shot here, I think it handled it pretty well. The screen is LCD and not AMOLED, of course, at this price, but you do still get a dark mode. That's really good. There's no fingerprint sensor on the back either, but that's okay. You get face unlocking, so let's try that out. Of course, you can put your PIN in as well, but face unlocking is really quick and I had no issues with it, so I just use that all the time. Because this Snapdragon chip is not winning any awards for power, it therefore draws less battery. This 4000 milliamp hour battery is going to last you for days, even with the LCD screen. Anyway, let's have a look at that. Right, so this is a camera test between the Redmi K20 Pro, the Xiaomi 9, and the Oppo Reno 10x Zoom Edition. Just a quick walking test of these three phones, because when I tested the Oppo Reno 10x Zoom Edition before, whilst I spend most of my time reviewing the absolute best, most expensive phones in the industry, it's so cool and pleasing to use a phone that costs $80 and still have fun and enjoy using it. So hats off to Redmi for making a phone that costs under $100 and a good phone to boot.